Okay. Good morning and welcome to the Spiritual Mind Center Sunday service. Today is the 6th of April, 2025. And my topic this morning is self-care. So as we just go within, we will have our opening prayer treatment. Just come with open mind, open heart, open energy field, ready and willing to take in the highest good for you, for me, for all of us. We are all right here, right now. Just taking care of our minds, our bodies, our whole being, knowing that this time is blessed. I know it is divinely guided, the highest possible results. And each one of us brings something of great value to this program. I'm grateful for each one here. And for those who are not able to make it today, I know they are in their right place as well. And we are all getting that which we came for. This time is blessed, and we are blessed in it. And in the nature of the Christ, I claim it so. And so it is. Okay. So we've grown since I closed my eyes. So welcome, everybody. This is great. And as I said in the beginning, my topic this morning is self-care. And when we get on a spiritual path, we tend to forget that we need care, not only spiritually, but physically, mentally, and spiritually. We tend to think that when we become spiritual, it means that we are open to taking care of everybody. It's our job. Well, no, that's the end part of our job. That's the result of our job. However, we must take care of ourselves first, because we can't give something that we don't have. So when we take care of ourselves, we get our rest. We make sure that we take the time to do our spiritual work, whatever time of the day we do that. I know for myself, it's several times a day. I need it. But to take care of ourselves means that, yes, we are available to help others, but we don't give up our time, our spiritual practice to answer the phone or to have an open door policy where people can just come in whenever they want. I mean, that works to some degree. And I know I certainly would not turn anyone away. But I also love myself enough that I make sure that my mind is clear, that I'm, I'm relying on spirit to keep my energy balanced and high as much as possible. I don't change who I am, but I sometimes change roles in it. When we take care of ourselves, we are appreciating our true nature. We are recognizing that spirit will only do for us what it can do through us, which means that we have to be receptive. We have to be willing. And we ask. We have to be in a receptive mode because spirit will not push itself on us. If we say, not now, it steps back. Okay, whenever you're ready. So when we're talking about self-care, we're really not talking about the physical as much as the mental and emotional and spiritual. However, the physical is also very important because if we're not well, if we're not prayed up, as the saying goes, we aren't getting the highest benefit. So it's important for us to stay healthy as much as we can. Be gentle with ourselves. And that's probably the most important because when we're being hard on ourselves, it means we're also being hard on other people. Because the way we treat ourselves inwardly is the way we treat others. We can't give love if we don't have love for ourselves. Most of us were taught that don't get too wrapped up in yourself. You're not that special. Well, not true. We are that special. And when we love ourselves, we take care of ourselves. And then we can also be of some service to someone else. And when we recognize that whatever service we give is the same service that we give to ourselves. I don't generally take calls in the middle of the night. However, I used to say it was okay to call day or night anytime because the phone was on Dwight's side of the bed. Because in the middle of the night, I'm not generally very coherent. But I don't have that privilege anymore. So when the phone calls at 3 o'clock in the morning, I have to answer it. And not everybody has to deal with this, but I don't have my glasses on and I don't have my hearing aids in. And trying to make sense of somebody on the phone like that, it's kind of difficult. So calling at 3 o'clock in the morning is not the best idea. However, I did have someone do that not too long ago. And I guess I heard what I needed to hear. And I was able to be conscious enough to do a prayer treatment. And she seemed satisfied. So, but I don't tell people anymore that they can call any time of the day or night. Daytime is great, but well, anyway, that's kind of going off the deep end. So, taking care of ourselves is our first business. We are amazing beings and have not even touched on what is possible for us. We're getting there and we're working at it, but there's so much more. And then when you stop to think that it's infinite, this God that we talk about is not a being, it's all being. Because without it, nothing would exist. It is in everything and everyone. And when we see it in ourselves and treat ourselves as though we are spirit, we are divine. And we look around us and appreciate all of the ways that this God has created itself into form. It's not just human forms, it's the form of this building, the form of the very chair we're sitting on. It's the birds that come to my bird feeder and the seed that they eat and the feeder that holds the seed. It's the grass, the trees. It's everything. How could we not experience this amazing something that at this point in time is almost impossible for us to grasp? But you know, the fun is in trying, in practicing, seeing spirit in everything. I have these pictures on my wall, and I look at them and they're spirit. God created those through me. God created all of us and everything. And it doesn't take a lot of upkeep to keep God present. We were talking in class last week about the Christ and what the Christ is. And It's not a being. Jesus, though he became the Christ, or a Christ, because he believed. He knew that when he spoke his word, it was done. There was no question. He didn't say, please, God, do this. He announced. He called Lazarus forth from the dead. He had no doubt. There was no trick to it. He performed many miracles. He walked on water. And then one of his disciples, Peter, as long as he was looking at Jesus, he could walk on water too. But when he realized what he was doing and looked away, he began to sink. It's that simple. To believe, to know, which goes beyond belief. To know that when I speak my word, that is what I create. And it's not just special people that can do that, but it does take knowing the power that you're working with, knowing that God is everywhere present. And it loves us so much that it allows us to experience our own thoughts and beliefs. When we can come to the point where we can see ourselves as Christ, we won't look much different, maybe emit a little more light, but we will still be in our form. And it doesn't take a ritual or eating a certain way, but it does take learning how to think. First of all, learning how to think about ourselves, to know that we are holy. And how do you treat something that is holy? You take care of it. You allow it to shine through you. It's already here within us. It doesn't go anywhere because it too is infinite, immortal. Have you ever thought of yourself as immortal? You are. We're divine energy, God stuff. It was never born and it never dies. We are infinite in the large as well as infinite in the small. There is so much of this God energy in us, around us, and through us, that we take it for granted. But we also set boundaries, limits, and we depend on Jesus or God sitting on his throne to do something for us. And we beg and plead and carry on, when all we really need to do is claim it, knowing that this amazing presence works for us by working through us. That's almost a mantra for Ernest Holmes. He said that many, many, many times. God works for us by working through us. It will not do anything for us that we don't allow. So that comes to trust. If God is the animating something within us, we can know that it's not going to harm us. It does for us the very highest and best when we accept it. And that is our part. God gives and we receive. We are so amazing. I want to read from the Science of Mind magazine. And it's not today's date, but it'll work. Right self-care. And these guides for April are by Margaret Storch, Reverend Margaret Storch. And she's been in Science of Mind many, many years. Okay. There is but one creative principle. It is always responding to us. Always. And the difficult part for us is that when we think negatively, it responds to that as well. Because God knows we're safe. We're spirit. We're divine. We're infinite. We can do anything we want to with our bodies. And whatever it is we're doing is going to show up on our bodies or in our affairs. So it doesn't just respond to the good things, the things we really want, because God doesn't judge if this is something you really want or something you don't want. If you're focusing on something, you're drawing it to you. You're giving it life through you. So, a realization of the presence of God is the most powerful healing agency known to the mind of humans. The realization of the presence of God in us, around us, through us. And it's all for us. There is no doubt in anyone's mind now that right self-care should be at the top of everyone's list. We now know that there is very little we can do or be on a continuous basis if we disregard our own needs. We may live, move, and have our being in the one, but its magnificent qualities need a healthy host through which to express. A healthy mind is the highest ideal. Because when we are thinking healthy thoughts, when we are claiming wholeness, that covers it all. The need for inner restoration and equilibrium is greater than ever. The world of affairs cannot help with this. It cannot be healthy until we bring soul care into it. It is up to us to know enough to bathe in the waters of deep spiritual renewal. So this is the secret: spiritual renewal. We take care of ourselves by contemplating spirit, knowing what it's like to be joyful, to be healthy. And if that's not where we are, that is a perfect excuse to take the time to sit with God and commune. Because we can talk to God. And in fact, that's the only one we're ever really talking to. But to know that even when we're standing at the sink doing dishes, we can be communing with our inner being. When we're running the vacuum cleaner, which I don't do anymore, and I'm grateful. but, but you can still commune. I remember one time when I was first into science of mind, and I was vacuuming. And while I was vacuuming, I was thinking, if those kids would just wipe their feet before they come in here, I wouldn't have to be doing this. And I thought, I'm damning my kids for bringing in a little bit of mud. And without even realizing that's what I'm doing. I can be thinking glorious thoughts, be thinking about how wonderful that my kids are able to run in the mud and bring it in. There are many ways to look at it, but we get so into self-talk that is negative. Not things you really want to see come into being, but not very helpful. So when we're doing our so-called mindless tasks, think about, where is your mind right now? What is your mind doing? Are you enjoying what you're doing? Or are you doing it just because it needs to be done? And grumbling about it. We are so powerful and so beautiful, so amazing. And we need to remind ourselves of the beauty that we are, the amazing power that we have, and the resiliency to live in this world in peace and harmony. We can do it. Wars can be going on all around us. And we can decide it's not my war. I choose peace instead of this. And it's not only possible, it's much better for us than the opposite. So I admonish everyone, including myself, to consciously take care of yourself. Know where your source is, and know that no matter what is going on around us, we can be at peace. We can see some good, whether it be a beautiful flower or a sunset or a loved one. We have the choice to live our lives magnificently. So I thank you for listening. And now we will have our closing prayer treatment and then our sharing time. So let's just go within and just breathe in that beautiful breath of life, knowing that as we release the breath, there's always another that we can take in to keep this cycle of life flowing. I'm so grateful for this time, and especially for this company. And I know that each one of us has brought something of great value to this time. And in the nature of the Christ, I claim it so. And so it is.